Three teams in all, gold, silver and bronze on offer. The fastest two teams will win gold later today. If you can join us each day, thank you. It's been a great week of racing. We're going to have under 15s and under 7s racing again today. We're going to continue with them racing over these 3 days, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. Big thank you to all of our officials, our volunteers, our coaches, everyone around the AMP arena. Big thank you to all of our staff, volunteer staff like that. We've done all of the filming of the racing during this championship. 9 days straight for our volunteers and officials. Hello and welcome to our retailers in the back straight. Make sure you make way over to the big stores and also the data. Look at our merchandise team over there. See the staff, plenty of t-shirts, choices, and also baseball caps and other parts of merchandise on the AusCycling shop. Team of Victoria in the home straight, represented by Nelson Forsyth, Ollie Jurek, Benjamin Lucia, and Max Nussman.
Well, hello to all of our AusCycling YouTube followers. We're getting underway with the first round of our under-19 teams pursuit qualifying. This is the team of Victoria getting underway. Alistair Forsyth, Ollie Jurovic, Ben Lucia and Max Nussman. 3 teams in all. Third fastest team will take the bronze medal. The fastest 2 teams will go to a gold medal final. Welcome to everyone around Australia and around the world who are joining us. We've got a great day of competition ahead. Victoria away nicely. We'll be looking to set the absolute fastest time they have in them here. We've got 2 very, very efficient teams to follow, South Australia and Queensland. Great to see it. We've been able to get a field out on track, fill the podium up here today. We're in the middle of summer and we've got a very big road season that happens now during the summer months, which does put a dent in 1 or 2 of our states being able to produce track teams, especially teams pursuit teams, at this time of the year.
What exactly are you focusing on?
We've seen some superb racing over the last couple of nights in our elite men, elite women, junior 19s as well. Our para athletes have been setting championship records. And so a great day of competition to start us off in the time trials in the 15s yesterday and also in the scratch races in the 17s. We're going to have them out on track again here today. And if you were here in the grandstand yesterday, you'll know how much of a buzz it was last night. The atmosphere was wonderful with everything going on. So let's have a big finish to our 6-day week for our elites. And don't forget, we have a few more days to go and we're going to really ramp things up with our under 15 and under 17 competitions. We'll come through with 9 laps to go just at the moment. We'll get some different time updates as soon as our scoreboard gets off long service leave, and we'll be able to just keep an eye on the half lap splits. Down to 3 as they head down the back straight. We've got Olympic champion teams pursuit coach Tim Decker calling to the Victorian squad as they come into the home straight. 6 laps to go this time. 3 riders left. Jurovic, the rider, setting the tempo as he goes through, setting more than a tempo, setting the pace. Max Nussman, Alistair Forsyth and Ben Lucia, the team. Ben Lucia, the new member of the Victorian lineup. He's the one who's dropped out this time. So good things in the 1,000-metre time trial. He's impressive in his individual pursuit qualifying for a rider new to the sport of track cycling. Nussman swings up, gets out the way, hands over to Forsyth as they head down the back straight this time. Moving very nicely. We'll get an updated time to you as soon as we can. 3 laps to go this time. 500 metres left to go. Big turn being done here by Forsyth on the front of the Victorian team. Now hands over to Jirovic. He'll go down the back straight. This will be the final guy on the front for these guys. Big, strong and fast. Ollie Jirovic, rides in the PSL as well. Will come through this time. All of these guys have been getting themselves near the podium and on the podium here this week. They head down the back straight. Jirovic will lead them into the home straight, and we'll see shortly what the Victorian time has been able to offer. They go across and we'll get their updated time shortly. Victoria go across in 4:06.57, 4:06.57 for our Victorian junior team. Next team we welcome out onto the track now will be that of South Australia. The team will be led by Will Brown, Oliver Ward, Jack Sloan and Alec Guglielmucci. Queensland will be the next team to come, South Australia. The team out on track this time, building up pace nicely. 4:06 is the time they need to get inside to ensure themselves of riding for the gold and silver medal. Former Olympic champion Brett Aitken, and of course World Teams Pursuit champion in his career. He's the coach who's calling them the action as they go through. Come through this time with 11 laps to go. Moving nicely. South Australia down to the 3 riders, always a very big tactic these days in teams pursuiting. They have one rider go a certain distance. In the olden days it used to be the rider who blew up and they'd drop them. Now it's very much a tactic in teams pursuiting. They know exactly what each rider can perform at, power wise, output wise. They'll know they're going to 12 laps, they know they're going to 8 laps, and that's the most efficient way for the team to move as quickly as they possibly can. Quickest time out on track from the South Australians. They're a well-drilled unit. Spent a lot of time getting themselves ready over the years, the South Australian teams in teams pursuing. Come up with 1,000 metres to go left in their qualifying ride. They go through 3:03.95, so the sort of tempo that they've been riding, we're looking around 4:04. As long as they hang on to this sort of pace, moving nicely, probably a little bit quicker. Third rider, just a little bit of drift this time. They're inside the time here of Victoria. They're doing exactly what they need to do. Get inside. Don't matter if you're in the home straight or the back straight for the start this evening. Indoor Velodrome, doesn't matter, doesn't count. South Australia, head down the back straight. They'll come round to join us in the home straight. They'll get 1 lap to go this time. We have a look at the scoreboard. 3:49, they're doing around a 15.5 lap at the moment. So can they get themselves inside a 4:05 here? It looks like they are. Trying to get themselves through and around about a 4:04. They'll come into the home straight this time on the third rider. They stop the clock. 4:04.25 for South Australia. Just inside the time of Victoria. They go number 1 on the leaderboard. Now they'll sit back and see if they're going to ride South Australia or Queensland in the final. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome our next team up onto the track. It's the team of Queensland, represented by Zach Douglas-Savage, Sam Hilditch, Oscar Schoff and Lockie Walters. .4:04.31, the fastest time from South Australia so far. 4:06.57 from Victoria. They had the hardest job in cycling, being the first team to go out and try and set a time. So they absolutely have to go flat out. They can't hold anything back. The Victorian team and the Queensland team, they have the advantage of being able to see that time. If they know what they can do, they can judge their efforts somewhat. Difference between 100% and a lesser effort, it's probably the difference of 4 or 5%. It doesn't sound like much, but when you have to keep repeating rides for 6 days straight, and this being the last day of competition, remember these guys have got 5 days of hard competition already in their legs. And that's a lot of warming up, a lot of warming down, a lot of staying hydrated and eating right the whole time, trying to get to sleep at the end of the night. After a big day of racing, your heart rate's absolutely pumping when you drive home, get home, and try and settle down before coming back the next day. So there's a lot you have to get through, these athletes, to be able to come back out and perform at their absolute best. It's a very big ask. These guys are doing nicely. They'll come to the home straight this time with 10 laps to go. Continuing in our trend of top coaches, we've got Jordan Kirby, the Queensland coach, former individual pursuit champion of the world back in 2017. Really moving nicely here, the Queensland team. Inside 15 seconds a lap each time at the moment as they go through. We'll come up with 6 laps to go. Down to 3 riders as they head down the back straight, the Queenslanders. Perfect timing, they'll come round to get 1,000 metres to go. We have a look at the scoreboard and see how they're going. 3:05.18. So, little bit of work to do over the last 1,000 metres here. Queensland, they have been unstoppable in the bunch racing this week. 3 to go now. They're going to have to fight here. They've got to get themselves inside 4:06.57. They're moving nicely down the back straight. They've got to get inside the time of Victoria to ride for gold. They're going to have 500 metres left as they go through. It's going to be close here for the Queensland team. They've really got to bring it home. Bring it home like a Queenslander in a sprint final. They always sprint home beautifully. 1 lap to go here for Queensland. Little bit of work to do in this last lap. It's going to be on the 3rd rider. They've got to really leave it all out on the track now as they head down the back straight into the bend to try and get themselves up into the top 2 spots. They'll come into the home straight this time. They stop the clock. 4:06.42.15 inside the time of Victoria. They'll find themselves riding for the gold and silver medal later today. Great finish from Queensland. So we move on to our next event. This will be our women's under-19 Keirin. A late change. We've gone from 3 heats down to 2 heats. So therefore, top 3 in this will go in, if each of these heats will go to the final for 1 to 6. The rest will go to a ride-off for 7 to 13. So 6 in this one, 7 in the next. Top 3 will go through to the ride-off for the gold, silver and bronze medals. Straight into it here on the Meares Velodrome. We welcome our riders onto the track. Elsie Apps from New South Wales, Milan Bradshaw 137 from Queensland, Isabella Potts from Queensland 143. 145 is Paige Squire from South Australia, Sophie Backer 147 from South Australia, and Maddie Pitt from Western Australia. Rider 147, Sophie Backer is the rider who's drawn front spot. She'll go up behind the motorbike. Talk of volunteers, big thank you to the man on the motorbike, Paul Jackson, as he rides the motorbike for us here once again at Track Nats. I was in the University of Queensland Cycling Club with Paul back in the early 90s, and he's been a servant of the University of Queensland Cycling Club all of these years, races himself, former Masters World Track Champion, still doing a lot of coaching with riders, and always putting his hand up to assist the sport of cycling here in Brisbane, so fantastic. We still have people in the sport like Paul. A great community feel when we come up to Brisbane with all of the club involvement and all of the parents getting involved in volunteering to do the camera work and help with the telecast. I head down the back straight. Paige Squire just laying off the wheel a little bit here. We'll come to the home straight to receive 3 laps to go. First 3 will go into the final and race for gold, silver, bronze. Backer leads from Apps. Bradshaw, Isabella Potts, the 2 Queenslanders, Maddie Pitt. Paige Squire just getting herself up the inside of Elsie Apps here, so it's a little bit of room at the moment, but she has ridden herself into the box somewhat. Milan Bradshaw following the wheel of Apps. She'll be happy that she's got Paige Squire down there underneath her. They go through a lap and a half to go. They come into the home straight. Nobody moving yet. The riders at the back will have to think about doing something from here. Elsie Apps steps out. Maddie Pitt going with her, but it's Isabella Potts who steps up round the outside. First 3 go through to the final here. Good ride from Potts, trying to get up round side. Apps. Maddie Pitt holding out Paige Squire as they come into the home straight this time. They'll come down to the line. They'll hit the line. Oh, I tell you what. Elsie Apps, then Isabella Potts, and I think Madeline Pitt may have just hung on for 3rd place, but we will wait for the decision of our judges. Great racing there. These riders turned up to expect to ride round 1. They ended up straight into round 2. There is the result. The riders going into the gold medal rides will be Elsie Apps, Isabella Potts and Madeline Pitt. They will ride in the 1 to 6 final. Paige Squire, Milan Bradshaw, Sophie Backer will ride in the 7 to 13 final later today. Move on to our next heat now, heat number 2. Same applies. First 3 in this one will go into the gold medal race. Everyone else will go into the 7:13 final. We welcome onto the track. At the bottom of the track is 132 from the ACT. This is Alexis Phillips. 133 also from the ACT is Emily Watch. The New South Wales rider is Isabel Prince. From Queensland at 142 is April Paddy. Her teammate Madison Smith, 144. April Catt from South Australia and Alana Lake from Victoria. Alexis Phillips, the ACT rider, she leads the way. She'll be up behind the motorbike. It's a good group, this one. Been so impressed with the junior racing. We've seen the medals and the seconds and thirds shared around quite a bit, which goes to show the quality of the depth of riders. Some years you can turn up to junior racing, the same child, same junior will win every single event. In the sprints, they'll win the sprint, they'll win the time trial, they'll win the Keirin. Not happening this week in a number of our divisions. This goes to show great depth within the sport. You see some of our junior riders just congregating down near the ramp to come up onto the Velodrome. They'll be getting ready for their next race. We've got some qualifying races for our 15 scratch races here. They head down the back straight. Half a lap away from the motorbike coming out this time. Phillips leads in front of the South Australian April Catt as they come up to the home straight this time. Emily Watch from the ACT moves forward. She's got Isabel Prince there. Isabel was on the podium last night. Alana Lake moving up onto the wheel nicely. The 2 Queensland riders just getting a little bit out of position now as they go through with 2 laps to go, so they've got a little bit more work to do for them. Emily Watch having a look over the shoulder, sees Alana Lake moving beautifully up round the outside. Good move here from the Victorian. She's taken one of the Queensland riders with her as they come up to get 1 lap to go. Lake leads from Smith, and then it's Emily Watch chasing with April Cat trying to get past her hip down the back straight. Alana Lake leads. Smith trying to go round her. Here comes the run from behind from South Australia and New South Wales as they come up to the line. South Australian gets up round the outside, April Cat, but Alana Lake and Maddie Smith will hang on into the minor placings, into the top 3 from what I could see, and they'll put themselves into the gold medal final ride. There we go. April Cat, Alana Lake and Madison Smith have qualified for the gold medal final. Great piece of riding. Isabel Prince, April Paddy, Emily Watch and Alexis Phillips will go into the 7-13 ride-off. We'll see our riders coming out onto the track now. This is going to be the men's under 15 scratch race qualifying race. This is going to be over 10 laps, 2.5 kilometres. 14 riders in each heat. This will be the heat number 1. I'm going to lose 3 riders from each heat. Remember, we watched the under 17 boys qualifying yesterday. We lost 8 riders from each heat so there.
With the straps.
So altogether, 28 riders in all competing in under 15 scratch race today. So 2 heats of 14. Great numbers in our junior ranks this year. Fantastic to see as our riders start to come up onto the track. The riders that are going to line up on the fence line in this one: New South Wales, Peter Samuel and Lewis Strybeck. Patrick Richardson from Queensland, Noah Blaisley from Tasmania, Ari Riley from Victoria, Casey Bunton from WA, Liam McGuell from New Caledonia. Riders lining up on the sprinters lane will be Jaden Maddy from New South Wales, Ethan Lee from Queensland, Joel Gooley from South Australia, Adama Quadrago from Victoria, Tom Perry from Victoria, Matt Stratton from WA and Sean Bates from the ACT. That is heat number 1. They're coming out onto the track, about set to go. So the last 3 riders will be eliminated in this one. Whistle sounds are underway. We saw a win in the time trial yesterday from the Victorian rider, Adama Quadrago. It's a great ride. Not a lot of pace on here. Only 10 laps of the track, so this will be quite a nerve-wracking one. Just the 2.5 kilometres for our 15s. This is just the qualifying, so the qualifying's somewhat shorter than their final. Don't want to totally wear them out before the final, but we just have to make sure. Not allowed to have more than 24 riders in the final, so we're just going to get rid of a few. We'll come into the home straight this time. Tasmania on the front, leading the way. Noah Blaisley just keeping a good eye on things. It's a very difficult qualifier yesterday for our under 17s when you've got 8 riders who can miss out. There's no real chance of sort of gauging your effort. You've just got to sprint for the line. It does make these races quite dangerous though. Just when you think the middle of the field normally sits up with 1 lap to go when they know they haven't got a chance to win. These qualifying races, you've really got to be paying attention because you've got your last rider still sprinting flat out for the win into a bunch of riders who are sometimes sitting up across the line. They'll come into the home straight this time with 6 laps to go. A Victorian rider leading through. Tom Perry goes underneath the 200-metre tape. ACT rider Sean Bates going after him. WA moving to the front nicely here. Good tempo being set by Matt Stratton. He swings up, goes all the way to the back. Now the WA rider, little guy in the yellow and black on the bottom of the track, Casey Bunton. WA riders had a great advantage of having a National Junior Track Series occur in Western Australia. There's a touch of wheels and there's not a lot that you can do when that happens. The track is clear. The track is clear. We're still racing. They're going to come up now with 3 laps to go. Just a touch of wheels. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 riders down on the floor. They're all getting up. They'll be winded. There's no doubt about it. This is why they're not soccer players. They've all gotten up. They'll come up with 2 laps to go now. Adama Wadrago, the Victorian on the front. Well, one thing all of these riders in the bunch will know is they are qualified. They can take the pressure off themselves because they will qualify. All of these riders in the bunch, they'll come up this time with 1 lap to go. No bell, flags come out. Flag has come out, race is neutralised, riders. The race is neutralised. The race has been neutralised by the commissaire. The race has been neutralised. Sorry to keep repeating myself for everyone in the grandstand. We just want the riders to be able to hear it and know it. And a couple of riders who are leaving the track. It looks like our South Australian competitor and our West Australian competitor. Sean Bates I can see walking away as well. Big round of applause for our riders who have been on the floor, though, ladies and gentlemen. They're all walking away from that crash, which is what we want to see in this situation. So they'll all live to fight another day. Stay together, riders. You're still neutralised for now. Looks like the red flag is going to come out now and the race will be stopped. As soon as we've got an update from you, we'll find out from our commissaires. So for everyone joining us on the AusCycling YouTube channel, as you saw, we had a touchdown there in the under-15s. Race stopped. The main field will have all qualified. All the other riders that left the track walked away. Haven't got a decision on the commissaire, but I would say, from a commentator's perspective, those that are qualified are the ones that did not fall off. We're just getting the track repaired, making sure there's no bits of wood that might be sticking out from pedals and so forth hitting the track. We'll be back with you very shortly. So ladies and gentlemen, update on our previous race. All riders that were still on the track have qualified. As there were only 3 riders to miss out, the fall that occurred happened inside the last kilometre, so all 5 riders who did fall are eliminated. So the riders who crossed the line, they are all in the bike race. Unfortunately, our crash riders, because they crashed inside the last kilometre and there's no way of rejoining the race in that situation, they are eliminated. So we're going to go with a lighter field in our final. We're just updating the track, making sure the track is okay, and then we will be back out for heat number 2. So we move on now, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to our men's under 15 scratch race qualifying heat number 2. Our riders just making their way down the back straight. They'll join us in the home straight shortly. Once again, 10 laps of the track, 2.5 kilometres for our junior athletes. And our riders who will join us on the fence line from Queensland, Felix Henderson, Jack Pentland from South Australia, Henry Grigg, Victoria, Declan Zhang from Victoria, Nino Duran from New Caledonia, Hudson Taylor from the ACT, and Adrian Zhang from New South Wales. In our sprinters lane, we have Sebastian Uri from Queensland, Nate Roberts-Thompson from South Australia, Leroy Bartlett from Victoria, Flynn Charman from WA, Eden Pomard from New Caledonia, Zach Thomas from the ACT, and Oliver Morris from New South Wales. Altogether, our official starter this week has been Rachel Good. She gets them underway. So we'll miss 3 riders in this division. Same as in before. Obviously there was a little bit of difference for our first race with the unfortunate touching down of a few riders. Simple bike racing accident, touch of wheels. And as everyone slides down the track, there's nowhere to go. Gravity takes effect. They move down the back straight. We've got 2 of our New Caledonia riders here. I think it's fantastic that we have the riders from New Caledonia joining us in our national championships. Fantastic part of the world, New Caledonia. If you've ever had the opportunity to go, very easy to get to from Queensland as well. As they lead through this time. Durand is 126, Pomard is 128 as they go down the back straight, moving nicely. A few riders in here will just want to follow wheels for this first few laps, not worried about too much. You want to be able to back yourself here that any attack that does go early, if it does go, you'll be able to follow it, you'll be able to go with it. And you just want to make sure that you can get yourself out of any danger. Don't get boxed in, make sure you're not in those last 3 riders as they go through. And the attack from New Caledonia. Quite happy to get things underway here. Our international visitors go through and moving very nicely. That is Eden Pomard as he goes down the back straight, forcing everyone else to have a think about it. They're going to have a think about it. They're not necessarily going to chase. It's a numbers game. You don't need to worry about the win in this one. You need to worry about not getting eliminated from the last 3. Position all important though. You want to make sure you're on the right train that's going past everyone in that last couple of laps, not on the train that is starting to hold everyone back. The New Caledonia rider comes through. He's getting chased by the other New Caledonia rider in the race. Different club jerseys, they'll go through. And Nino Durand was the rider who was setting the tempo. Now Zhang swicks up down the back straight. Great to see him racing. Known that young man for a few years now. I'll come to the home straight with 3 laps to go. New Caledonia rider Durand. Pomard is out the front. Sebastian Uri, number 12, down the back straight, has found himself off the front, moving nicely. 2.5 laps to go. The rest of the field is bunching up a little bit. Let's get behind these riders as they come through this time. Pomard, then we've got Uri, then we've got the rest of the field all trying to make themselves stay near the front now. The West Australian. Up round the outside is Charman. Duran from New Caledonia trying to move forward. They go from the front this time. Pomard out of the saddle. If he hangs on, he's going to make the final here. Uri, it was a great effort, but the train has lit up as they go out of the home straight this time. Henry Grigg down the back straight. He's got Flynn Charman on his wheel. They're all safe for qualification. It's the last three that are going to get into trouble here. They'll come into the home straight. Pomard getting reeled in. We've got a South Australian, a New South Welshman and a Queenslander all in a little bit of trouble here, unfortunately. South Australia, New South Wales, Queensland will be the riders, unfortunately, to miss out. Everyone else will be safe into the final. That was a great finish to the bike race. Looking forward to the final a bit later today. Don't forget, folks, if you're following us in the grandstand or you're following us on the AusCycling YouTube channel and you want to see the results, results.auscycling.org.au. That's results.auscycling.org.au. You'll be able to see all of the updated results as you go through there. So if you're watching from home and you've seen a race go across the line, you want to see if your rider has made sure that they've gotten through or what time they've done. You'll be able to go into results.auscycling.org.au for all of the live results for these championships. Got one of our finals, the first of our finals of our Super Sunday about to come out on the track, and it's going to be our Junior Women 15s scratch race final. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome our riders up onto the track. This is the under-15 women's scratch race final. We welcome on the fence line Lucy Harrison from South Australia, Mackenzie Stevens from South Australia, from Victoria, Paravi Tanksel, Aisha Crofts from Victoria, Juliet McDonald from Victoria, Caitlin Death from WA, Anika Astridge from ACT, Freya Ingleson from New South Wales, Winter Bradshaw from Queensland, Georgia Dowling from Queensland, Bo Morfitt from Queensland. In the sprinters lane from South Australia, we welcome O'Hara Rattigan, Rory Stretton from Tasmania, Natalie Dixon from Victoria, Emilia Juravakova from Victoria, Delina Mertens from Victoria, Anouk Herzl, Grace Alcott, Zola Peterson, New South Wales, Adele Dixon from Queensland, Hannah DiGiorio from Queensland, and Matilda Kemps from Queensland. That's our field, 22 riders in all. This is for the Under 15 Scratch Race Championship of Australia for our women. Huge field, all spread out on the track as they go through. Somewhat nerve-wracking, these first early laps of this race. We'll come through this time with 17 laps to go. No clear pace making being done at the moment. Everyone just quite happy to follow the wheel in front of them. All fanned out across the line and no attack at the moment. And see everyone just not backing off, not really moving forward at the moment. Good tempo, no one really in too much trouble as they'll go through this time. Freya Ingwersen from New South Wales on the front of the group as they head down the back straight this time. One or two riders moving themselves forward now, trying to get a better idea of how the race is starting to set up. A lot of work being done here by Ingwersen. Keeps herself right to the front of the bike race as they go down the back straight. Pace just drops out of it ever so slightly as they go through. "13 laps to go in the 15s National Championship. Mahara Radican leads the way. She's got Ravi Tanksel up onto her wheel. Then we go back to the teammate Aisha Cross from Victoria. Then Emilia Juravkova, she's still up there, nice positioning. And now the Queensland riders come into the home straight. Just trying to make a little bit more pace as they go through this time. Matilda Kemps has a look over the shoulder. They all swing up with her as they go to the back straight. Got one rider from Victoria who's just been laying off the main field for most of the race here. Not getting involved in it at the moment, but they're not going hard enough to drop her, so she's riding about 4 or 5 bike lengths off the back of the group, but not getting dropped, not coming any closer. Little Victorian rider there. That's Natalie Dixon, just keeping an eye on affairs. Riding well within herself. I wonder if that's something to look for towards the end of the bike race, or whether the big bunch is just a little bit unsettling, which it can be for some if they're not used to this sort of racing, this sort of size bunch. Anyhow, 22 riders in this race as they go through this time, moving nicely, still lined out behind the South Australian as they go. Tanksel up into second, then Crofts it is as they head down the back straight this time. South Australian rider just backing off the pace, riding at a pace that's going to suit her. They'll come up with 9 laps to go this time. It's O'Hara Radican that leads the way. Rory Stretton, Tasmania, just moving up round the outside of the 2 Victorian riders, and now we're underway again. The pace goes up, and look for the number as it comes round. Queensland on the attack with 8 laps to go this time. Once again, it was the Queenslander at rider number 37, Matilda Kemps, not satisfied with the pace of the bike race. Astridge from the ACT leads now, been on the podium already this week. We're coming to the home straight with 7 laps to go. Anybody's bike race at this stage. The Victorian riders are moving back to the front. Mertens, and then of course we've got Ingwersen, the New South Wales rider, up round the top. He's been very active. Jurevkova, the Victorian, drops into third wheel in the line. You can see 1 or 2 riders just got caught on the dead wheel now, and they've been spat out to the back of the group. Good riding here from Ingwersen. She's going from the front. Jurevkova swings up, doesn't want to be doing all the work just yet. They've got 5.5 laps to go. A bit of work to do for 1 or 2 down the rear of the field who need to get themselves moving. Not a lot of ways to get forward from here when the bunch is moving at this sort of pace. Ingwersen leads through. Matilda Kemps goes up onto her wheel. Then you've got Jurevkova. Then we go back through the field. You've got the New South Wales riders up there as well. Grace Alcock, number 29. 1,000 metres coming up. It's going to be hard to move forward. But they're riding up round the outside. Crofts from Victoria getting herself into position now. As they head down the back straight. Matilda Kemps at the bottom of the track. Jurevkova up round next to her. Then the Tasmanian rider, Rory Stretton. 3 to go this time. No one panicking at the moment. Jurevkova, Stretton up on her outside. Then you've got Freya Ingwersen, the New South Wales rider, number 30. Her teammate Grace Alcock just caught down the bottom at the moment. They'll come round this time to get 2 laps to go in the National Championship. Kemps, Jurevkova, up onto her wheel is Ingwersen, then Stretton. 1 or 2 riders just looking for a way round. Crofts down the back straight, just losing a bit of position. 1.5 laps to go. It's do or die time now for this field as they come into the home straight. You see the gold jersey up round the outside of Caitlin Death. Jurevkova leads through. Death trying to go with her. Up round the inside is Ingwersen. Death to the hip of Jurevkova as they go down the back straight. The Victorian leads from the West Australian. They're coming from the clouds as they come into the home straight this time. Jurevkova's too strong from the front, you would think. She's going to hang on to the line. Jurevkova up round the outside was rider 29, which was Grace Alcock, I think. Ingwersen, Freya Ingwersen was the other rider to get up there in the top 3. Not sure on the 2nd and 3rd on which position, but the winner, without a doubt, was Emilia Jurevkova from Victoria.
I've been there a few times today. No worries at all. And this week. Yeah. No worries at all.
Ladies and gentlemen, we move on to our under-19 women's teams pursuit. Teams pursuit final. We welcome the team of Queensland, Grace Hunter, Sienna Monteith, Megan Moore and Neve Parslow. Queensland away nicely now, moving very nicely through this first lap. See what sort of time they can do here, the Queensland team. Queensland team looking very smooth as they come into the home straight this time. This will be the end of the first 1,000 metres. Championship record in the 4,000 metre teams pursuit is held by Victoria. That's 4:33.066. And I know the coach, Jordan Kirby, will be trying to get them close to that. That was a very good team though. Hayley Jenkins, Sophie Marr, Elisa Polides and Lucinda Stewart, the championship record holders. No surprise that the fastest national time is done by one of the national teams back in 2023, which was Lauren Bates, Sally Carter, Nicole Duncan and Kira Will, 4:26. And the all-comers record on the Australian soil is Lauren Bates, Nicole Duncan, Felicity Wilson-Haffenden and Kira Will in a 4:28 back in 2023 as well. So that would have been a team of the Australian team at an Oceania Championships. So the championship record, 4:33. That's what this Queensland team is setting out to try and achieve here today. They're going to come through the halfway point now as they come to the home straight. We'll have a look at the clock, see how they're travelling. 2:24, so they're moving quite nicely. And take into consideration that's the standing start involved there as well, which will be several seconds slower over the 1,000 metre. So moving nicely here. We get a better understanding of if they're close to the championship record at the end of the 3,000. And they're going okay at the moment and they're looking very smooth indeed. Unfortunate not to have that many teams in our junior 19 women's category. We're the same in the elite women's category in teams pursuing. Our sprint ranks going beautifully, but with the road season also taking part in our summer season of track, it certainly does have a little bit of an impact, or sometimes a bit of an impact on our riders. Concentrating on one thing and not the other. We also saw it in our elite men's fields. No WA team this year, no South Australian team either in the elite teams pursuit situations. Two teams that have been extremely successful over the years in teams pursuit racing. Through the first 3,000 they go through 3:32, so we're outside championship record for these riders. One or two new, one or two established and moving nicely. Technique and performance and get the best time out they possibly can is the secret as they go round. So they'll be on a schedule trying to get themselves under the 4:40 zone. We'll come up this time with 2 laps to go. A lap and a half to go now for our Queensland team as they head down the back straight and come through the bend towards us here in the home straight once more. They'll receive a bell lap this time. We'll get an idea of where they're at, trying to get themselves inside an established time of 4:40. They're there and thereabouts. Need to sprint home just to make sure they get inside, try and get down to 4:39 if they can. It's been a good ride. They've looked smooth. They look very slick. The Queensland team will come up and stop the clock in the end. 4:41.91 for Queensland. Our Victorian team coming out for their bronze medal ride here. We go back to our women's under 15 scratch race final result. Emilia Jurivkova was our winner. Grace Alcock from New South Wales was in the silver medal position. Freya Ingwersen was the rider in the bronze medal position, and Caitlin Death from Western Australia was in 4th place. So 4:06 is what these guys did in their qualifying ride. Now they're going to go out and ride a time. Whilst they will receive the bronze medal, but they're going to go out and see if they can do a faster time than their 4:06. So big opportunity for these guys to get the second ride in, which is what they need to do. It's what they need to do to be able to show the coaches what they're capable of. Another pressure performance is always on the cards in a championship situation. They don't get to come together like this very often throughout the year, so they set themselves up and they're going to do what they can do here. And it's also a little bit of bragging rights in this situation. They've ridden 4:06. They may not have done a lot of riding together. 4:06 might have been one of the first times that they've ridden full noise in a pressure situation, in a competition situation, this Victorian pairing. So who knows, they might be able to set the fastest time here. There'll still be a bronze medal, but it's something to look forward to, something to chase here. Ben Lucia doing a very, very fast start here, getting them going nicely. We're going to go down to 3 riders already, so Lucia has done his job as part of this quartet. We saw him be very, very fast over the first couple of kilometres in his individual pursuit. Comes from downhill mountain biking, only been on the track several months, so one of the riders to watch in future. Alistair Forsyth leads down the back straight in front of Max Nussbaum, and he's got Ollie Jurevec on his wheel. We'll come to the home straight this time with 9 laps to go. Through the first 2,000 metres, they've gone through in 2:06, the Victorian team. So they're moving nicely, similar pace to what they were in their ride just about half an hour or so ago now. A number of championships on the line today. Teams Pursuit Scratch Race. We've got the Para Time Trials right in their championships today as well in the time trial. Elite Women's Points Race later tonight in our program, and also the Elite Men's Elimination Championship. We'll have the defending champion Kurt Ether in that race as well. Got our under-17 time trials as well this evening in our program. So good night of racing ahead of us. Plenty to look forward to. And if you're one of our parents and supporters of the junior racing, got 3 very big days of racing to come, Monday through to Wednesday here, before we all get an Easter weekend break. Max Nussbaum has had a good week of racing, leads into the home straight this time. They'll come up with 2 laps to go. Sitting themselves possibly around the 4:08, 4:09 pace at the moment, so a little bit off the pace of what they were doing before. Still moving nicely though, as Tim Decker just walks down the track to them, just asking them for a little bit more. Nussbaum on the front. Is he going to lead him through the last lap? Yes, he is. Different combination. We had Juravec finishing them off last time. They're going to come into the home straight this time. 4:06 will go. What can they stop the clock at this time? Like we said, 4:08.70 for the Victorian team. That will give them the bronze medal in this competition. So our Victorian team takes the bronze medal, and we now welcome our field up onto the track for our final Junior 19 Teams Pursuit Championship. South Australia in the home straight, Will Brown, Ollie Ward, Jack Sloan, Alec Guglielmucci. In the back straight we welcome Queensland, Zachary Douglas Savage, Sam Hildish, Oxelshoff and Lockie Walters. Underway in the final now, South Australia in the home straight, Queensland in the back straight. .404 in qualifying, the South Australian team, 4:06 the Queensland team, so nothing in it. The Queenslanders really had to fight in the last lap of their race to make sure they got inside the time of the Victorian team so they could find themselves in the final. So Queensland with work to do, South Australia with the slight advantage on paper before coming into this final. But it's not a lot of distance between the two. And Queensland will have got that first ride out the way and in the legs. It's been a good contest between these two states in the under-19 ranks as they've gone round this past 6 days. I can't believe the 6 days is over. It seems to have gone very quickly all of a sudden. First 1,000 metres, 105.4 for South Australia, just starting to get themselves in front of Queensland. Only just though, it's going to be a good contest all the way through. And come through this time, South Australia, 0.18 is all it is between these two teams. 0.43 to the better for South Australia. If you've ever raced a bike in your life and you got to ride Teams Pursuiting, to remember the adrenaline and the thrill of riding a Teams Pursuit race when you were going really well. It was quite exhilarating. Wasn't the most fun thing when you were suffering though. When you're on top of your game, these are one of the most enjoyable races to do. You really get the speed, part of the team, absolutely slick. But if you're slightly off your game, they were murder. South Australia down to 3 riders. They lead Queensland by 1.5 seconds. The third South Australian rider just getting back into the slipstream now, just hanging back ever so slightly. Let's hope that that was just something. It's not the legs. They'll come into the home straight this time, South Australia. They are motoring. They're going to try and get Queensland in their sights, but their third rider just laying off the wheel ever so slightly still. Let's hope that's just more habit than anything to do with his legs. They'll go through into the home straight this time to receive 5 laps to go, and South Australia have Queensland in their grasp at the moment. 2.7 seconds between the riders. South Australia, 3 riders. Now Queensland goes down to 3. Usually when you go down to 3, the team starts to get faster. Brett Aitken, the coach, asking for a little bit more from the South Australian team. They head down the back straight. Queensland go through. South Australia have them in hand. As they go through with 3 laps to go, they're going to see the tail end of Queensland here. Mentally, that'll just take the pressure off somewhat with the South Australian team because they come into the home straight. Still moving very, very nicely. .87 seconds the difference now. South Australians are going to come through to get 1 lap to go. Their third rider just hanging on here. Trying to get themselves as close to that 4-minute marker as they can as they head down the back straight. South Australian team flying home through the bend here. They'll come through, they'll stop the clock. 3:59.64, they go underneath the 4-minute barrier. Fantastic ride from South Australia. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's a championship record for the South Australian team. 3:59.64, going some 4 seconds underneath the old all-comers and championship record held by Queensland. Well done to South Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, we move on to event 147. This is our Para WC time trial final. We welcome Talia Clayton-Goody, the world champion in the WC1 category, our first rider to come up onto the track. Four laps of the track, 1,000 metres. Well, she's the world champion and the world record holder in this discipline, ladies and gentlemen, the best of the best out on track now. Talia getting the bike up to speed as she heads down the back straight. It's not stifling hot out there, but it's not the coolest day either in the track centre. We've had warmer during the week, so relatively good conditions for the riders, and we've seen the championship record already go in the junior men's teams pursuit as Talia goes through. Through the first 500. Clock doesn't stop for us just at the moment, so moving nicely still. Talia. Lap and a half to go for her now. We'll keep an eye on where this record is. 125.366. Did that in Rio de Janeiro at the Olympics. She's moving nicely here. She was classified in C2 as well once upon a time, and the time was 128.276. Today, racing in the WC1 category. She'll come into the home straight. World record is national record is 125.336. She goes across in 126.684. Gold medal for Talia Clayton-Goody in the C1 division. Welcome our next rider up into the start gate. This is the rider from Victoria. This is Erin Normoyle, and she is competing in the WC4 category. Australian record in the C4 is held by Tara Nayland. It's a 110.806. Another time that was set in Rio de Janeiro during the Olympics. Erin away nicely on the Argon 18, the double Campag discs, Ghiblis, beautiful piece of machinery she has here. Moving up to speed nicely here, really getting everything out of the bike as she heads through into the aero position now. Nice start, 22.30. Erin heads down the back straight, going to get assisted by the music now. Moving nicely, comes into the home straight. 2 laps to go, 500 metres of the track for Erin as she goes through. 38.6, moving nicely. One lap to go, 56.01. Looking at about a 114 sort of pace here, maybe 115. How strong is she up to the home straight? Going to get inside. Goes 114.723 for Erin Normoyle. Another national championship for Erin as well. Move on to our paracyclist men now. We welcome our first rider to come up onto the track in the MC2 division. From New South Wales, this will be Gordon Allen. Gordon has the national record in this division, 109.297. Set that back here in 2023. Of course, you would have seen all of the photos on our AusCycling Instagram pages. Massive thank you to our AusCycling photographer, Con Cronus. You'll see him in different areas of the track in the green AusCycling vest, taking the best photos you'll see anywhere in the world. Big thank you to Con for all the work that he does. Gordon Allen away now. Absolutely fantastic pieces of equipment, these Argon 18 bikes with the double Campag discs. Moving nicely here, Gordon, as he heads down the back straight. Big week of competition we've had for our paracyclists. Seeing the rainbow jerseys out aplenty as usual with our paracyclists. 22 seconds for the first lap for Gordon, moving nicely. Always great to come to Brisbane, do the commentary and see our paracyclists still competing and improving as they go through. 38.21 for Gordon, moving nicely as he heads towards the back straight. .602 here for Gordon as he still moving nicely. This is the tough part of the 1,000 metres where you just sort of block out the pain, just concentrating on keeping the revs up and up and up as you come into the home straight now. Gordon Allen is going to stop the clock. 111.913 to set the fastest time so far in the MC2 division. Welcome our next rider into the start house now. Well, the legendary man from South Australia, Darren Hicks, ladies and gentlemen. Darren Hicks getting the bike up to speed as he heads down the back straight. As he gets that bike right up to speed, it's very hard to get past Darren Hicks, and he's moving nicely through the first lap. See the difference though, 26.172. He's challenging Gordon Allen in this discipline as he moves down the back straight, still accelerating. Coming to the home straight this time, getting the momentum really wound up here is Darren Hicks. Moving nicely. He'll come into the home straight this time with 1 lap to go. Goes through 1 minute, there and thereabouts as he went through. Heads to the back straight. Gordon Allen's time is 111.913. Darren Hicks comes into the home straight very shortly. See where he can stop the clock at here this afternoon. He goes across 1:17.872 for Darren. The next rider is going to come up onto the track now from Queensland. We welcome the very popular Kyle Willis in the C3 division. Kyle away now, moving nicely. Some years ago I was up in Queensland commentating AusCycling, and Kyle was just a new rider as part of the program, just riding in a club kit on the bike that he had, and each year I came back and he's moved up into the national team, fully fledged rider in the Queensland squad with all the gear, being looked after, being coached very well and showing great discipline in the sport. Great to see that the Australian cycling team recognising the para athletes exactly the same way as the able-bodied athletes have been recognised for decades. And that's why the para athletes are just so successful at World Championships and Olympic Games. Come into the home straight this time with one to go for Kyle, moving nicely. Kyle Willis going to come up and stop the clock. A time of 1:11.065 for Kyle. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome our next rider onto the track. Representing Queensland, this is Corey Boddington, who holds the national record in this division as 1:02.021. He set that at the Paris Games. He needed excess luggage just to get his medals home. Corey Boddington, what can he do here this afternoon? Big start here from Corey. Big launch out of the blocks here from Boddington. Just barely kept the bike on the track as he goes down the back straight this first time. comes through this time. Let's see how he's going. 20.131 for Corey. 1:02 is how fast he can go in this 1,000-metre time trial. Very, very smooth indeed, and he's moving nicely. We'll have a look to see how he goes through the first 500 metres. 34.131 for Corey as he heads down the back straight. One lap coming up for Corey as he goes through now. 48.271. Sitting more around about a 1:4 time, I think, here as he goes through the last half lap. Where can he stop the clock? He might be a bit quicker than the 1:4 as he comes up, stops the clock. 1:03.223 for Corey. Didn't slow down at all in that last half lap, really fought home. Nice ride. We've got 3 riders to go in our Para C category, all riding in the MC5 category as Corey Boddington takes out the MC4 category. We've got Nick Neals, Max Sudoltz and Matt Gray to compete for gold, silver, bronze now in the MC5 category. And the next rider to come up onto the track will be Nick Neals from the ACT. Nick Neals away now, getting himself up to speed. Comes into the home straight. We're going to try and set the fastest time here for Max Sudoltz and Matt Gray to follow. Been on the podium each day this week when he's been racing. A mixture of silver and bronze medals for Nick. Been going very nicely. Through the 500, 44.14 for Nick so far. One lap to go. Sets up 1:02 for this just at the moment as he moves through the 200. Still moving nice and smooth down the back straight. It does get tough. It's tough, terribly tough for everybody as he heads through the bend now and joins us here in the home straight as he's going to cross the line and he's going to stop the clock. 1:20.624 for Nick. We welcome the next of our C5 competitors from the ACT. This is Max Sudoltz. Max Sudholz away, our second to last rider to go. We've still got Matt Gray to come after this. Max Sudholz goes through, 36.31. Max Sudholz goes through, moving nicely, 51.179. He heads down the back straight. Getting tough out there, but he's fighting on beautifully as he comes into the home straight. Max Sudholz, where's he going to stop the clock? This is quick. 106.786 puts the pressure on here, Max Sudholz. Okay, we move on to our final rider in our C5 category. Paralympian back in 2000, this man. This is Matthew Gray from Western Australia. Added national championships to his list of achievements this week. Let's see what he can do here this afternoon on AMV. Nicely out of the blocks there for Matt Gray. Done a lot of work over the last couple of years. Very disciplined approach to the sport since coming back to it. Getting up onto speed. He's got a tough competitor in Max Sudholz that he has to try and beat here. Usually around the 1.7 mark for Matt Gray. Goes through beautifully, 21.572 for that first lap. These next two laps are so important. Can he get himself up neck and neck with Max Sudholz's time here as he comes through? Halfway mark now, 36.698. Moving nicely down the back straight. Holding onto his pace beautifully here. This is where he's really got to dig in. Got to shut out the pain, keep the legs going. Moves through, still third quickest for now, 52.6. You see it just starting to tie up a little bit. This has been a big 6 days of competition here for all of our para athletes. It's a hard way to finish off a week of racing. But Matt Gray is going to come into the home straight and he's going to stop the clock. 109.724 for Matt. welcome from Queensland, Ollie Hutchison. Ollie Hutchison, the IWI and Transplant time trial final start list. Moving very nicely down the back straight here, Ollie. Standard bike. We've got newer riders into this category, so we'll look forward to seeing the development of Ollie over the next several years. So much to look forward to. So many events coming to Queensland over the next 5 years. Well, next 6 years if you include the big one in 2032. So much racing to come. So many big international events. Ollie comes up this time with 1 lap to go. Still moving nicely. Half lap to go. He's holding onto his pace nicely, keeping a nice line on the track as he comes into the home straight this time. Ollie Hutchinson, been on the podium this week. He's going to be on the podium again. Hits the line, 1:23.565 for Ollie. That's right, in the MI division is from Queensland, and this is Keely Kitkovics. Away nicely on the Cervelo time trial bike, moving nice and smoothly here. Comes through this time for the first 500, really motoring here. Goes through 36.777 here. Keely, of course, has the national record at 1:09.009. He did that on the 31st of January. Has he improved since then? He's motoring as he comes into the home straight. Can he get inside his own national record as he comes up to stop the clock? Keely will stop the clock. 1:08.724 inside his own national record, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together for Keely as he comes into the home straight. Another national championship, and it will have a national record to go with it here this afternoon as well. Welcome our next rider up into the start house, and this is Perry Judd. He is racing in the Transplant category. Perry underway. It's the first time I've seen Perry racing here at the National Championships. He's going home with several new green and gold jerseys, that's for sure. Just on the standard bike at the moment. I'm sure that will change over time as he gets more into this side of the sport, moving very nicely as he goes through for the first lap. Pedaling beautifully, goes through 43.202 for Perry as he heads towards the back straight. On top of the gear nicely, pedaling well as he comes into the home straight this time, and he will receive the bell. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of this session we'll be doing all of our presentations for the race and the championships we've seen so far, and our teams pursuits, our para classifications, and also, as Perry goes across, 120.565, also our junior women 15s scratch race presentations as well. That'll come at the end of the session as we move on to our next part of our time trials. Welcome our next team up onto the track, and you see the first of our tandems. This is event 150, the Parrot WB time trial final. We welcome our first team up onto the track, and this is Madeline McNeil with her pilot, Sarah Daly. Nicely out of the start gate here, this team. Very, very much working as one as they get away. Up onto pace as they'll head towards the home straight this time. .533 for the team of McNeil as they head down the back straight. They're moving smoothly, aren't they? Lap and a half to go. They'll come into the home straight here. Double disc in the tandem. Great bike handling here. Not the easiest thing to do. It does take a lot of skill and a lot of practice as well. Not slowing down at all, this pair. Really going through this last part of the journey nicely. They'll come to the home straight this time. And they'll finish off with a 112.791, McNeil and Daly. Welcome our next team onto the track. This will be the team of Jessica Gallagher with her pilot Jackie Mengler-Moore. Jess Gallagher has the national record in this, in the 107. Beautifully away from the blocks here. Sprung to action, Jess Gallagher, the Victorian, with the Queensland partner in Jackie Mangler-Moore. They move up to pace now. Saw Jackie's daughter win the under-17 scratch race last night. So very much a cycling family. They head down the back straight, moving nicely with these two. Got the capabilities of around a 1.7 inside them. They go through the first 500, 37.4. Heading down the back straight, looking nice and smooth here, this pairing. And come to the home straight, receive the bell lap. Looking for another national title here. Gallagher and Mangler-Moore go through 52.830. Sitting around the 1.9, 1.10 pace at the moment. They're not slowing down at all though. 1.09, can they get there? They'll come up, they'll stop the clock a little bit quicker. 1.08.788. Nice riding from Jess Gallagher and Jackie. We now move on to our final event of this day's session. Remember, we've got our presentations for our junior women 15s and our time trials and our under-19 teams pursuits to come, so stick with us. But this is our final couple of races. We welcome our Para Men's B Tandem time trial final, and the first team up into the starting house will be Bo Wooten from South Australia with his partner in this one. His pilot is Byron Davies. The national record sits around 1 minute. Pairing of Wooten and Davies away now. They won the sprint championship already this week, so they've been moving very, very nicely. It was a good contest between them and the pairing from the WA of Keirin Meares and Luke Zachariah, the national record holders. 19.788 on a tandem. Here we go. What can they do here? Byron Davies, he's had a big week of individual racing as well. I saw him race very well in the Keirin last night. Also in the sprint competition, 33.168 for the first 500. The national record sits around 1 minute as they go through with 1 lap to go here. The national record, 1 minute .374, set by Keirin Meares and Luke Zachariah in Paris. They'll come to the home straight this time. How close can they get to the minute here? This pairing, they'll go down, stop the clock, 101.400. So the national record safe for now, but 101.400 for the team of Bo Wooten and his partner, Byron Davies. Away now, the WA pairing. This is the team we had in Paris representing Australia. Trying to get themselves right up onto speed here. They've got a real challenge for the team of Davies and Wooten at the moment, don't they? They'll come through the first lap. 20.018. They trail the South Australian pairing by about 0.4 through that first lap. Looking to get under a time of 33.168 here as they go through. 33.43, so they're making up a bit of distance here. Pulled back to about 0.3. They've got to get inside or be in round about 46.86 here as they come up to get one lap to go. Just outside the time here, the WA pairing of Beau Wooten and Byron Davies. 101.4 is the time that they need to beat, but they're just a little bit away from that here this afternoon. They'll come into the home straight. 1 minute, 101, 102.597 for the pairing of Paris and Zachariah. They will take the silver medal this year. Well done to Byron Davies and Beau Wooten. They will be national champions.
Good event. It's a great event. Doing a great job. Too bad that speak flies, isn't it?
On the board is fine, mate. As long as they follow the ball.
Is it this way or the opposite? Thank goodness. At least Aaron's there. You might take it. You don't know. Oh, yeah, no, they'll get that. You don't know. You'll get that. I'm not allowed out there. I don't know what else. I think Con might be there. Floating around somewhere. Yeah, there he is. What do you see? Oh, yeah. Leave the car down there, or would you go on the break now? Yeah, I got to go. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah. I'll go right there. Yeah. We'll see. They're all there, but is it just me? No, it's not. When we first worked, the start was really good. But now, I think where we get a breeze, it feels better.
Ladies and gentlemen, we move on to our podium presentations. We welcome the podium presentation of the Women's Under-19 Team's Pursuit. Please welcome the team of Queensland, represented by Grace Hunter, Sienna Monteith, Megan Moore and Neve Parslow. We also welcome, assisting us with our presentations here today, Mr. Scott Weekly, EGM of Commercial AusCycling. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome now the presentation of the men's under-19 teams pursuit. In third place and winners of the bronze medal, Victoria. Represented by Alistair Forsyth, Ollie Jurovic, Benjamin Lucia and Max Nussbaum. In second place and winners of the silver medal, Queensland. Represented by Zachary Douglas Savage, Samuel Hilditch, Oscar Schroff and Lachlan Walters. In first place, winners of the gold medal and national champions, South Australia. Represented by Will Brown, Oliver Ward, Jack Sloan and Alec Guglielmucci. Ladies and gentlemen, the podium presentation of the women's under-15 scratch race. In third place and winner of the bronze medal, representing New South Wales, Freya Ingwerson. In second place, winner of the silver medal, representing New South Wales, Grace Alcock. And in first place, winner of the gold medal and national champion, representing Victoria, Emilia Jurevkova. Ladies and gentlemen, we move on to the men's para C5 time trial. And in third place, winner of the bronze medal, representing the ACT, Nick Neals. In second place, winner of the silver medal, representing Western Australia, Matthew Gray. And in first place, winner of the gold medal and national champion, representing the ACT, Maxwell Sodholz. Ladies and gentlemen, the presentation of our National Para C4 champion in the time trial. And please welcome, representing Queensland, Corey Boddington. Please welcome our national champion in the C3 time trial, representing Queensland, Kyle Willis. Please welcome our podium in the Para C2 time trial. In second place, winner of the silver medal representing South Australia, Darren Hicks. And in first place, winner of the gold medal and national champion representing New South Wales, Gordon Allen. Please welcome our podium presentation of the Men Para AWI Time Trial Championship. And in second place, representing Queensland, Ollie Hutchinson. In first place and national champion, representing Queensland, Keely Kitkovics. Please welcome the presentation of our men's para transplant national champion. Please welcome Perry Judd. Ladies and gentlemen, please now welcome our presentation of our women's Para C4 time trial national champion, representing Victoria, Erin Nermoyle. Please now welcome the presentation of our women's para C1 time trial champion, representing Victoria, Talia Clayton-Goody. Ladies and gentlemen, we now welcome our women's Para B time trial presentation. In second place and winners of the silver medal, Madeline McNeil and her pilot Sarah Daly. In first place, winners of the gold medal and national champions, Jessica Gallagher and her pilot Jackie Menglamore. Ladies and gentlemen, the podium presentation of our men's Para B time trial. In second place and winners of the silver medal, Kane Paris and Luke Zachariah. In first place, winners of the gold medal and national champions, Bo Wooten and Byron Davies.